The grid works a bit differently in VIZ. Let's take a look at it. You can toggle the grid by clicking in this area. You can't do that in Max. You can also press the hotkey G to toggle the grid, just as you can in Max. Right-click in this area, and you'll go directly to the Home Grid tab of the Grid and Snap Settings dialog box. So it's the most convenient way to change grid settings. But not that you're going to need to, because the grid should work well by default. The grid spacing should be set up to 1 inch, and major lines are set to every 10 grid lines. Now this is a bit unusual, because in Max we set up major lines to occur every 12th grid line, so that they would occur every foot. So why are we setting it up to 10 here? I'll show you. VIZ actually handles two different settings within the same grid. Here we have a 2-foot cube, so we're looking at 1 foot here. And if you actually count the boxes, you'll see that there are indeed 12 boxes here representing inches. And just like in Max, if I zoom in, these boxes will not subdivide. So we're looking at the granularity of the grid. I'll zoom out. Also observe here that we are getting labels on the grid. It says 1 foot, 2 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet, etc. When I zoom out, the grid will simplify, and at some point the labels will appear. Here we have 10 feet and 20 feet. So here's the amazing thing. There are only 10 boxes within these major grid lines. So VIZ is smart enough to realize that you want to see 12 boxes when you're looking within a foot, but only 10 boxes out here, so that you get nice, clean increments of 10 feet that are labeled on the grid. Going out further, we'll get 100-foot and 200-foot increments. I'll go to the perspective viewport and zoom out. Notice that the perspective viewport subdivides, but it doesn't have a view grid extent limitation like you can set up in Max. There are only 2 dimension parameters in VIZ, so the perspective grid is just going to go on forever.